Some mimer from Tavshin Chav
Recording
Gimel.
in progress.
As I said, it's out of Rosh Hashanah. It was said on the birthday, the Friedrich of the Tzemach Tzedek. Gdula, הכנסת, Orchim, Makbal, Shkina. It's greater welcoming guests than even greeting the Shkina, the Chsiv, like it says at the beginning of our parsha this week. Vayom Arash Adnai. Nom Matzel Sichein Beinach Al Notaver V'Goymer. He said, Hashem, if I have found favor in your eyes, do not leave while I go run and do the Achnasas Orchim. So Avram Avinu was willing to forego being in the presence of the Shekhinah at the expense. He was willing to do so to be able to fulfill the mitzvah of Achnasas Orchim because he saw the three men over there coming in his direction. This is though he had by him the idea of the greeting of the Shekhinah, so like it says at the beginning of our parsha, that Hashem appeared to him. He left Hashem behind as if. And he went to greet the guests. How come? This is what the Chazal derived from this. Because greeting guests is greater than greeting the face of the Shekhinah. To be able to understand the great advantage of greeting guests, first we have to explain the first part of the pasuk, the greatness of greeting the Shekhinah. That's the beginning of our pasuk that Hashem appeared to him. Once we understand the lesser level, the idea of the greeting of the face of Hashem, so then we can go on to the next level. Yuvin goydla inyan dachnasas orchim will be understood the greater matter of greeting and guests. Shagdoyla yoser makbos pnei Shekhinah, that's greater even than greeting the face of the Shekhinah. Ois base. The idea behind this is which like the Tzemach Tzedek explains, the one whose Yom Haledes was on that Erev Rosh Hashanah, and every Erev Rosh Hashanah, he was saying this is based on a Maimer of the Tzemach Tzedek that's also titled Vayera Love, Shenitfas B'Orat Torah, that's printed in the Sefer called Orat Torah. It's the collection of Amorim of the Tzemach Tzedek. So over there, he brings down another Gemara. There's an interesting Gemara that says that we see different situations where Hashem did different types of Gemilas Chesed. For example, he clothed the naked when he gave clothes to, and he clothed Adam and Chava, for example. So similarly, the Gemara brings a proof that Hashem visits the sick. So he says over there, and explaining the words of the Gemara, that the Gemara says that Hashem visits the sick. Like it says, that Hashem appeared to Avram Avinu in the plains of Mamre, like Rashi explains, it was the third day from this major operation that he went through. He went through the Bris Milah 3 days earlier. And the third day, Rashi explains, is the most difficult. And Hashem came to ask after his well-being to see how he is doing. So, what is the spiritual idea of visiting the sick? He says, what is the idea of illness when we're dealing with it in the spiritual realms, when we're dealing with it from Hashem's perspective? Like it says in Shir Hashirim, we see that there is an illness in the spiritual realms. What does it say? Samchuni ba'ashishus goymer, support me, help me out with ashishus. There's different translations what it means, certain types of fruits or certain types of drinks made from fruits. I guess they appreciated the healing powers of fruits and especially things from the vine. And why do I need to have the support from Ashishus? He says over there in Shir Hashirim, Ki choilas ahava oni, because I am sick with love. I have a sickness, an illness that's a result from my love. We know, of course, Shir is talking about the love between Hashem and the Yidden and the Yidden and Hashem. So what does it mean that the person is sick with love? What does it mean that he's sick with love? His love for Hashem permeates into such a degree till he becomes sick out of the love. And now the Rebbe elaborates on this. To spiritually, the idea of being lovesick means that we're dealing with very high levels over here. This is applicable in the most highest levels, as it's known much where it says in the Arizal's writings, the word choila is the numerical equivalent of 49. If you add it together, the 8 and the 6 and the 30 and the 5, you have 49. What does that indicate? What's the idea of 49 have to do with the concept of illness? So the Arizal explains, it indicates that the person that is sick in the spiritual sense, he has all the 49 levels, what's called gates of Bina, complete. So he's at the highest, most level that's possible to attain. Though this is the highest level that a human being can attain on their own. So he is sick. Why? Because he's lovesick, because he hasn't attained God's very essence. He hasn't attained number 50. But I have everything I can get to. The Chazal say 50 gates, levels of Bina were created in the world. All of the 50 gates were given to Moshe minus one, meaning Memtes. Moshe got 49 levels. Like it says, you lessened him, you decreased him a little bit less than Hashem. Hashem himself is the level of the 50th gate. Moshe Rabbeinu, who is after all a created being, only attained 49 levels. So, why complain? Why be sick over it? But that's the idea of chayla. That's the idea of the spiritual love sickness that a yid has. Mikol Malkim, still in all, it's still a level of sick that it's the numerical equivalent of 49. Because he's missing the ultimate level, the highest level, Hashem's very essence. That's it. I don't have that, I'm sick. Va'adrab, even more so. Since he finds himself at such a level that he has bina in its perfect state. So that let's turn to the next page. Memtes Shari Bina. He has the 49 gates of Bina. Azai, then Maven who be Yoser, because he's at such a high level, he understands even more and he appreciates even more. There's so much of a higher level that he did not comprehend, he did not grasp yet. That's the 50th gate. Because of that, he becomes even perhaps even more sick than the previous levels. In the previous levels, he's not close to being there yet. Here, when he's at the gate number 49, the numerical equivalent of Chayla, he appreciates and sees, I'm just there. I'm about to reach for that. And that's what's making him sick. So the Rebbe says in the second paragraph on this page, this is also what the Tzemach Tzedek writes in his root of the mitzvah of tefillah at the end of the sefer called Derech B'Secha. Be'inyan ha'ava rabba, concerning the very great love, the bechinas mili b'shamayim, that love is the love that a person says, who is for me in the heavens, ve'im cholech fatzi baretz, and with you I do not desire on the earth, shloi lach b'shum davar zolosi yisbarach. It's such a powerful love that he wants nothing other than Hashem himself. V'lo yafilu shamayim v'oretz shem gan eden elyon v'tachten. In Kabbalah and Chassidus it's explained that Shemayim va'aretz, heaven and earth, is not limited just to our physical heavens and earth, but the spiritual levels of heaven and earth is heaven is the higher level of Gan Eden, and earth is the lower level of Gan Eden. So, Mili b'shamayim v'im cholech hafatzti ba'aretz says, nothing will satisfy my love for you. I am not interested in just having Gan Eden, whether lower Gan Eden, higher Gan Eden, Oretz or Shamayim. Elatia Ava Raklo Yisbarach Levad. His love is only for Hashem alone. Dahainu L'Mehusi V'Atzmusi Yisbarach Mamish. His love is Hashem's very essence. Ukefish Moisiv, like the Tzemach Tzedek, continues while explaining this Ava of Mili Bashamayim, that he brings an example from his own grandfather, the Alter Rebbe. Like that Tzedek added, this was the expression that was heard from our master and teacher when he was in a state of dveikus, completely absorbed in cleaving to Hashem. He said, quote, Ich will ze gar nicht. I don't want nothing. Ich will nicht dein Gan Eden. I don't want your Gan Eden. Ich will nicht dein Olam Haba. I don't want your world to come. Ich will mer nicht as dich allein. All I want is you alone. So that's the idea of Mili Bashamayim v'im cholech hafatzti baretz. Behind this means dveikus ich had more azakum ba'ifin the Mili Bashamayim v'im cholech hafatzti. This the cleaving of Hashem, about the cleaving of the Alter Rebbe to Hashem, in such a way of who is for me in the heavens and with you. I do not desire Shein Chafetz Began Eden V'Olam Haba, that he does not desire Gan Eden, he does not desire the world to come. Shu Inyan Mentes Sharibin, meaning all of these levels, Gan Eden and Olam Haba, this is all including the 49 levels of Bina. It's a different way of saying, I'm not satisfied with the 49 levels of Bina. Rather, I want the 50th gate. I want the very essence of Hashem. That's the 50th level. So that alone, that yearning after the 50th level, after Hashem himself, that's the idea that he's in a level of being sick with love, that he has this sickness of being in love with Hashem. Third paragraph on the page, concerning this, it says in the pasuk in Shir Hashirim, Samchuni b'ashishus goymer, support me with these ashishus, whatever the translation is. Ki cholas ava onim, because I am sick with love. Hainum shakashayesh noya in the cholas ava, when there's the idea of being sick with love. Then there has to be the idea of supporting me with ashishus. Shu inyan his galus oirein sof baruch hu. What is the healing for this? When you reveal the infinite light of Hashem, midarga nailis yoiser mememtes shara bina b'gematria choyla, from a much higher level than the 49 levels of bina, which is the numerical equivalent of choyla. This revelation is a medicine, is a healing for this type of illness. Like any type of situation where a person is ill, something is deficient, something is lacking, something is missing. The way to heal them from that illness is to repair that deficiency, to fulfill and to fill that lack. So since the person is ill because of him not having the 50th gate, so when it's the healing of that illness, samchuni bashishus, that means the Oiden Sof heals him by actually giving him that which he's Love, that's which he's in love with, that's what he's sick about, which is they give him the 50th gate. Based on this, we can understand what took place by Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was sick at the beginning of our parsha, and Hashem appeared to him. Hashem's appearance was, like we said before, the 50th gate that's revealed to the one that's sick out of love because he only has 49 levels. Fourth line in the third paragraph. This is what it says that Havaya appeared to him. To visit the sick. It's a revelation of the infinite light of Hashem that transcends and is higher than the 49 levels of Bina. Why did Hashem reveal that? Because that is the healing necessary to heal the one that is sick with love. It says that Avraham Avinu was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. So the Chazal say that Hashem took the sun out of its sheath. Why did Hashem take the sun out of its sheath? So that says because Hashem wanted to make sure that the guest should not bother Avram. But on a spiritual level, taking the sun out of its sheath means bringing the essence forth, this 50th gate. Like it says, Shu Inyan Shemesh Tzedako Mark, like it said, that's the idea that it says, that the sun is righteousness and it heals. How does the sun heal? When a person is suffering from this illness of love, so the sun acts as a healing because the sun indicates the ultimate revelation, the revelation of Hashem's essence, the 50th gate. It indicates the revelation of, in Keser, there's the level called Arich Ampin. The level of Arich Ampin is the level from which Arucha comes about, which shows on an external type of healing, like, for example, if something scabs over, you use the term Arucha or Refuah and healing. So Arich and Arucha are related. This is something indicates that's the level where healing comes from. The healing for one who is sick with love. Arich Ampin shows on a level it's beyond the whole Seder Ishtalshlus also, it's part of Keser. So therefore we see this idea that the sun that heals and Arich Ampin that heals, it's all about the 50th level, the level that's above Seder Ishtalshlus, to be able to heal the one that has reached only the 49 levels and they are sick out of the love because they want Hashem himself. This idea of the sun that is considered a tzedakah, it's something that's charitable and it causes healing, is similar to the revelations of the future time, of Mashiach's times. Chazal say, then the future, when Mashiach comes, Hashem is going to be taking the sun out of its sheath. Tzadikim misrapim, but tzadikim will be healed with and through the sun. Before the part of the passage where it says Shem Tzedakah Marpe, it says, it will shine to you, those that fear my name will shine to you the sun of tzedakah and healing. Not only that, like it's explained in the Medrash, Shemesh tzedakah, that is referring to who Mashiach, that is going on Mashiach. So Mashiach and this great revelation and this healing that comes because of Hashem's very essence becoming revealed because of the 50th gate, all fit in together. So now we understand what was the idea of the greeting of the Shekhinah. The greeting of the Shekhinah was this revelation of Hashem's most awesome level, the 50th gate, similar to what's going to become revealed when Mashiach comes. Once we understand what the greeting of the Shekhinah was, And then, and despite that, Avraham Avinu, and we are taught in general, we are supposed to forego this greeting of the Shekhinah, this ultimate level, this highest, most level, just because of greeting guests. So now once we've explained that, we can go to the next step and explain what's so special, and based on that, how much greeting guests is even higher. Ois Gimel, last paragraph on the page. From this is also understood the great advantage of the idea of hosting guests. Gdula, it's greater than greeting the face of the Shechina. Though by Avraham Avinu there was the greeting of the face of the Shechina in the most highest way. That Havaya revealed himself to him, appeared to him, levakir sachoila, to visit the sick. And we said that the idea of the visiting the sick was shu'inyan gilu sharanun. It was Hashem revealed to him the 50th level, the 50th gate, kedei larapes chachoilos ava, to be able to heal the one who is sick with love. The Kal Malkim still in all. Kasher vayar v'nishloisha noshim nitzavim olav, when Avraham Avinu saw that behold, 3 men are standing over him. Azai vayoretz lekrosim gaimer. So then he ran towards the 3 men that were standing there. Avram left Hashem behind. And he went to greet the guests. So how could this be? You're dealing with the 50th gate, the utmost level. How is greeting guests more special than that? Last line of the page he says, when the Kudus Abir was the point of explanation in this is, the main avoida is action. The Chazal say, Loi hamedrish ikar ela hamaisa. The darshaning, the learning, the study is not what's primary, but action is what's primary. Shezeu inyan naila yoiser me'adveikis the mili bashamayim v'imchol echafatzi ba'ares. This is even greater than what the Tzemach Tzedek described before, that his grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, had described when he was in such a state of dveikis in Hashem and cleaving to Hashem. He said, I don't want the heavens and the earth, I don't want Gan Eden and Olam Haba and so on. I want just you alone. So even higher than that is action. Which is more like my father-in-law brings down the statement of the Tzemach Tzedek, Shekol in Yonam Mesiras Nefesh Arbeinu Azok Hagadol, that all the matters of self-sacrifice that the Alter Rebbe had for another Jew and for Yiddishkeit in general, etc., whatever it is, and Kiloi, in other words, the other Mesiras Nefesh, the Mesiras Nefesh of endangering his life for Chassidus, etc., these type of things. Hem Kiloi legaba Mesiras Nefesh lenatik es atzmai upreißen sich madveikes imchol echafatzi. They are insignificant, all other flavors of self-sacrifice of the Alter Rebbe, in comparison to the self-sacrifice to tear himself away from the cleaving to Hashem, that with you I do not desire, kedei leismaser, to devote himself, la'asiyas toiva li'ish Yisrael, to do a favor for a Jewish person. Shezeu close in nachnas orchim. That's a general idea of greeting the guests. Shuachak shechak Avraham Avinu v'derech hachesed shenag bar. It's the law that Avraham Avinu engraved, and the path of kindness in which Avraham Avinu was accustomed to. And this we see constantly with different stories. That Alter Rebbe, that on Yom Kippur he went to chop up wood for a woman that just gave birth. It's understood that after Alter Rebbe had this great dveikis and cleaving to Hashem, ordinarily what type of cleaving to Hashem did he have when he was on the holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur, and still in all he went ahead and did this for that woman over there, and he chopped the wood and so on and so forth. So we see this is the true Mesiras Nefesh, because action is the most primary thing. Now the Rebbe is going to connect it with the time of the year when the Rebbe said this Maimer, which was, the Rebbe said it on the Tzemach Tzedek's birthday, which was Erev Rosh Hashanah. So he's going to connect this with Rosh Hashanah. Ois Dalet. Second paragraph on this page. We could possibly say, this is also the idea behind Rosh Hashanah. This emphasis on action being greater than the highest levels of cleaving to Hashem. We know that on Rosh Hashanah everything returns to its original state. The world goes into a state where all the chayes of the world, all the divine energy in this world returns back to its source, and there's only like a minimum amount of life force and energy left just to sustain the world. And then afterwards, a totally new divine energy for the year comes down anew, and they are brought down through the blowing of the shofar, because the mitzvah of the day is shofar. So the Rebbe is going to explain this in the same way like we explain how greeting guests is greater even than greeting the Shekhinah. The idea behind this is, like it's explained in Amor Chassidus, the sound of the shofar blast, is not an organized speech. We're not using our power of speech to beseech Hashem to send us down full energy for a new year in an intelligent fashion, in a comprehensive, in a way that's comprehended, and so on. It's not even a simple sound of a human voice. It's not even human, the sound of the shofar. Rather, it's a blast with a horn of an animal. Still in all, we accomplish with the shofar, which is a simple blast of a horn of an animal, more than human speech can accomplish. Still in all, only and specifically through this we reach to the much highest level, to renew and draw down all matters that we need to have for the entire year. This means until it is very great. The voice and the speech of a person with intellect, understanding, and comprehension, until how great it is, the ultimate perfection of understanding and comprehension through the 50th gate. It's called the 50th gate of Bina, so it has to do with comprehension. That quenches the thirst of someone that is sick out of love for Hashem because he doesn't have the 50th gate. Still in all, for this itself has to return and become renewed from its source in a totally new life force and vitality. Because what was there last year is insufficient for the coming year. To be able to bring this down anew, one has to reach to the highest, most level, and the greatest depth, to such a place that it's impossible to reach it. That the sound and the voice and the speech of a person cannot reach such a high level using intellect and understanding and comprehension. And how do we draw down from this high level? And this is accomplished through the sound of the shofar, and specifically made through the horn of an animal. Similar to what was explained previously, the advantage and quality of action over the cleaving in who is for me in the heavens. And that's all derived from its greater, the idea of hachnos of hachnosas oichim yoser makbos pnei Shechina. The Indians are nimshach b'meshach kol hashana. This comes down throughout the entire year. B'chlolos ha'avoda ma'aser poel kipshuta. In the general avoda, in doing action in the simple sense, shaydeze mekabtzim umachzirim umachnisim as netzoitzes hakdusha shenevdu v'nidchu b'ktzei hashemayim. Through that we collect and we return and we insert those sparks of holiness that were lost, and they went into far-flung areas in the ends of the heavens, like it says in the pasuk. And we also say this on Rosh Hashanah because we're speaking about Psukim of Psukim Shofros. It will be in that day when Mashiach comes. You talk about Shofar Gadol, it'll be the blast of the great Shofar will take place. And those that are lost in the land of Asher and those that are scattered in the land of Mitzrayim will come. So the Rebbe explains that it's also referring to not just the simple meaning, it's referring to Yidden that are scattered all over, but it's also referring to the sparks of Kedusha that are scattered all over, that we are able to elevate them through our actions in the physical world. And they will be immersed back into Kedusha, brought back into Kedusha, Vishtach Valavai Bahara Kodesh, Yerushalayim. They will bow down to Havai in the holy mountain Yerushalayim. V'chein Tielanu, so it should be for us. B'kiyum atfilah, the fulfillment of what we're davening. Tkab b'shofar gadol l'cheiruseinu, where we daven, especially on Rosh Hashanah, but we daven, blow in the great shofar for our freedom. B'bias Mashiach Tzidkeinu, b'karav mamish, in the coming of Mashiach Tzidkeinu, soon mamish, ba'ofen, the nigolam miyad, in such a way that we become immediately redeemed.